Suciotalk, episode 38. Chef Justin McMillen out of St. Louis, Missouri. How are you, Chef?
Doug, so good.
Hell yeah, it's nice to meet you, man.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Glad you got it here safely.
For sure. Another one brought to you guys by Andrew Chang out in California. So apparently you guys have never met.
Never met, but just, acquainted via social media and love wrestling.
WWE?
WWE.
Okay, yeah. There's only three of us, I think, in the whole world. Yeah. There's a lot of people at those events, but I'm like, where are they?
Exactly.
When it's just regular life,
Yeah. Coming out of the woodwork just for that.
I've always wanted to have a bar that shows Monday Night Raw, that kind or the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Like
you're going to Nashville, and there is a place called the Red-Headed Stranger.
Yeah.
Funny enough, the first day I've ever eaten there, they had the WWE Network playing on the bar.
Oh, no way.
And I'm like,
you're like the only one who knows what it is.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, what the fuck? So, Chef, this is where are we right now?
We're at Brasserie by Niche in the Central West End.
Got you.
Yeah, our French Bistro.
All right. And I see all the restaurants are literally right in a row here.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we have a few in the Central West End, a few in Clayton, which is only a couple miles away.
Yeah.
One downtown St. Louis in the Four Seasons, and then one in Nashville.
When you have groups of restaurants, like more than one, are you putting them in the same area, the same block?
No, not necessarily.
Like this?
It's kind of like this. Got acquainted, and there was just a small restaurant, so we decided to put our speakeasy bar next door.
Got you.
And so it just kind of made sense to keep these kind of two cohesive.
Okay, very cool, very cool. But that's what you're doing today.
Yes.
At Suciotalk, we take it all the way back, all right, to when you were a little kid. Where were you born?
I was born in a small town called Nab, Indiana. Southern Indiana.
Nab, Indiana. Now I understand your Instagram name.
Yeah.
Nab Chef,
Nab
okay.
Chef.
And how was growing up there? Was it a small town?
Small rural town. Grew up on a 150-acre farm.
Okay.
Both my grandparents had land, so was just accustomed just having all the land in the world and kind of being free in a sense.
Yeah.
But, it was just nice. I'd say it was nice because my brother got to do all the hard work. Once my family decided that me and my brother weren't going to be farmers. Yeah, we got out of the farming business, so my brother got to do all the labor. I was still too young at the time.
Oh, sweet, bro. He's just jacked.
Yeah.
That's why you're like, please help me.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, what did your parents do growing up? I mean, after the farming.
Yeah. Well, my dad worked for the county highway department. Blacktopping roads, mowing roads, ditches, and kind of just helping with that, stay within the county that we were in, and farming because he did split shifts and stuff like that.
I bet. Yeah, when your dad's a farmer, you work the farm.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
he would
what
get home
you do.
at 3 and start working at 3:30 on the farm.
Yeah.
So it was definitely unique to see that, and I think I always say that chefing is the farming world of this industry because you get paid very, very little.
Yeah.
And you're just working, hours.
All the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a labor of love, man. And, there's very rarely times when I'm looking at the clock in the restaurant. And that's the best part of it. It's like before you know it, everything's done. And then you're like, wait a minute. You're sitting at home,
Yeah.
So when you were young, what was happening? What were you guys farming?
Kind of seeing the whole spectrum of tobacco, soybean, corn, and then we also had pigs and cows.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Tobacco farming. What's that like?
From just very, the images I still have in my head, like planting, we had a 4-row planter that you just sit and put the plants in, and they'll go in the ground, and once they blossom, you got to top them so they start to dry out, hang them in the barn, and then you get to pack it yourself. I remember packing it in my great-grandpa's house. We had all these bale packers, if you will, and it'd be just my family and my grandparents just stripping tobacco and packing it in.
Yeah.
Actually, funny enough, I have a tobacco plant on my chest just because it reminds me of that's farm life, small town.
Where does that tobacco go? Who's buying it?
We would just take it to a local town to sell it. I don't know what actually what came from it, but everything we just sold. So yeah,
got you. Oh shit.
Yeah.
What kind of markets are you selling tobacco? Is it farmers markets?
No. More I think more industrial markets.
Got you.
Buy it for, probably I would assume consumption.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
People are not used to hearing about the tobacco.
Yeah. Exactly. That's usually the one that, like, I've never talked to somebody and they'd be like, I grew up on a tobacco farm. It's what?
It's kind of very unique. And, smelling fresh tobacco is so nostalgic. I still know that smell, that aroma every time I smelled it. Funny enough, I was planning a golf scramble a couple weeks ago, and I had no business being there. I had a guy invited, so it was good. It was a bunch of rich people, and they were hand rolling cigars. I'm like, can I just have a leaf? And I just smelled it. I'm like, this reminds me of my grandpa. Just that time.
Had that ratatouille moment.
Oh, very much so.
And a tobacco leaf. That's awesome, dude.
I questioned if I wanted to chew on it, but I'm like, I don't want to have that nicotine high and pass out.
Can you pass out off the fresh leaves?
Oh, yeah. That straight nicotine. I feel like, I've only done it once, and I definitely got sick in college.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
How's it, just like stomach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When you're not prepared for it, I think if you're not prepared for like drinking, you're going to go down. Same thing with tobacco.
So what were your interests growing up? Kind of what were you into?
I guess just we were so far away from our town or the city, if you will, like 20-minute drive to get to high school or anything like that. So, all my friends at the time, they were used to that kind of living. So it was just more or less sports affiliated. I didn't really play sports in high school, but I hung out with that crowd and I played sports, with them. And, it was practice and stuff like that. I always make the joke I was like the girls' basketball manager, but I was helping out with stats and shit like that. But,
That's dope. Okay. So what was your first job?
First job was a cart pusher at a local grocery store.
Oh, you wrangled up the carts.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And bagged up some groceries, helped some nice old people out to their cars.
Yeah.
So I had that and came up to be like a cashier, but slowly but surely morphed into the culinary side.
Got you.
Yeah, there was like a fancy restaurant, if you will, in my town. Granted, my town had a lot of all the fast food chains. So, like, now, Cracker Barrel's the high-end restaurant.
It's the big, okay, I could see that.
But there was a small, restaurant that had been around for about 15 years at the time, and they were just doing, steaks and bourbon pecan chicken, things at that town were like, that's fancy to me. Like, that, that $20 chicken meal is fancy. We're going to celebrate someone's birthday. We're going to go there.
Yeah.
So, that definitely took interest in me, and it was definitely a huge learning experience of just like working, making salads for 200 people to, grilling steaks for 200 people. Like, that's a trade that I feel like you never want to forget.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, what made you want to work at this job?
Luckily, in the school district that I lived in, there was a vocational school that just grabbed from other school districts and brought them down to closer to the Kentucky border. And the culinary teacher, funny enough, was from the same county I was from. And I feel like I progressed really well. I feel like I was pretty active in his class, and of course, I felt like I want to pursue this as a career, and he just pushed me in the right direction. Like, okay, this is where you live. This is the restaurant. Because, funny enough, he helped open the restaurant 15 years ago when it was just like a sandwich shop and antique store. Mm-hmm. But it morphed into more of a sit-down restaurant. And so, word of mouth and, a good interview. And little by little, I was there for 2 years before I ended up going to culinary school. So I definitely look at that more and more as like, such a huge foundation, the building block of even though it was just grilling steaks and making bourbon pecan chicken or Cajun Alfredo, like that blossomed so much. And
you just see new things every day.
Exactly. And then I can express that to like my parents who only went there maybe like a couple times because I worked there, but like they thought it was too expensive to go eat there. And showcase my friends. Hell, I remember getting drunk with my friends in high school, but it'd be like 3 o'clock in the morning, like, let's go to Walmart and grab some steaks, or we're gonna have ribeyes tonight.
Gotcha. So you were cooking for the boys.
Guys.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So during that time you decided to go to culinary school? Yeah. What culinary schools are you looking at?
Again with this vocational school, there were some competitions that you could be a part of.
Like VICA kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's exactly it. VICA. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew a VICA champion. We had one in our vocational school.
Nice.
Tina Ayala.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, won the championship. Shout out Tina.
Shout out to Tina. No, Vicka helped out because, the first year I competed as a junior and I did baking because at the time I thought I wanted to be a baker. But again, the chef instructor kind of pushed me like, no, you don't have the patience. you need a little more. You have the drive, so I just need to push you. So the next year I did the culinary. Lucky enough I placed first in the state of Indiana, so I got to go to nationals. So I got some money from different schools, but then in nationals I placed fifth. I didn't win, but I placed fifth. So I was happy with that, and I still got a little more money from local schools. And there was a couple schools in the area. I looked at Kendall in Chicago. There's Sullivan University in Louisville that had a really good reputation. There's Johnson Wales, of course, and then there's the CAA. Mm-hmm. And the chef instructor that I was getting acquainted with, he went to the CAA back in the early 90s.
Gotcha.
And he's like, I know the chef instructors in Louisville because he used to work there prior to this vocational school. He goes, I think you'll just get more out of it going to the CAA. And we can let's go up there and tour just to make sure that this might be the right fit for you.
Yeah.
So I was definitely down to. Sullivan was giving me the more money, but CAA also gave me a good amount of money. So when it's there and I can make it work, I decided to go to the CAA.
Yeah, for sure.
Just taking the tour of the campus. Again, from a small rural town to go to New York. Seeing that campus is not really in the city. So I think that kind of helped out a lot. It's on the riverfront.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful area. And I was like, okay, I think I can handle this adjustment. And if it was in the city, I don't know how I could have handled that by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Did you have any aspirations of working in New York City at that point? Or were you just focused on school?
I think I was just focused on school.
Yeah.
You definitely that second year... Going back, I wanted to eat more in the city.
Gotcha.
Granted, I was able, I guess my two best meals that I remember going one was to the Bobby Flay Mesa Grill.
Yeah.
That was, still during that time that Food Network surge was still going on, that schools are just getting plummeted with all these people. But, I grew up with Bobby, watching him every day, and so I was like, I have to go here. And that was I still remember that meal. Like, it was a great, gazpacho, great, tamale.
Yeah.
But then also got to go eat at Babbo, and that was, Mario Batali's restaurant.
Yeah.
And, for a six top of underage culinary school kids that got served wine.
Yeah.
That was a great meal.
Yeah.
And got to see some tableside stuff and just experience that whole scenario.
The realm of it, yeah.
Yeah. And definitely eye-opening, it just meant a lot to have those dining experience. And the more and more trying out different bodegas, if you will, in the city, and I still miss it. I've been trying to go back up there so much because so much has changed, and you can get around a little bit more and stuff like that.
That's very true, very true.
Yeah.
So your time at the CIA, how was your time at the CIA? What were the classes like? Because I didn't go.
You went to
Johnson Wales, yeah. We had labs that we would do, and then the next trimester we would do academics.
Gotcha.
Or actually, it was quarters.
Gotcha.
Was there any math, English kind of shit?
When you started, it's a unique scenario, and I think things have changed up there right now. But when you started, you did 8 weeks of academics. So you did English, culinary, math, and so forth.
Gotcha.
And the same with your second year, you did 8 weeks of academics, more restaurant ownership, and a little progression, because I didn't go for my bachelor's degree. I just went for the associate. So I feel like the bachelor's probably, pushed you more into financial side and stuff. But at least in the associates, you got to get a little bit of testing the waters. But then the first year was skills 1 was 3 weeks, and you worked on knife cuts. Skills 2 was after that for another 3 weeks, and you got to work on your proper cooking techniques, grilling, braising, all that, with some very basic recipes. Then skills 3 was putting all those together, and then you kind of open your kitchen up for service, which there was multiple kitchens with either it was cuisines of Asia, cuisines of the Mediterranean, Americas, and stuff like that. Everyone would open up because you gear yourself up for service to serve. Each station served probably 30 people. So people would come to your station I'll take the cocoa oven. And so you make you make it kind of, you get everything meased out, and so you kind of have your service, and whether it be mushu pancakes and stuff in cuisines of Asia's, but it is kind of got